Imagine having a mind free from the burden of negative thoughts and emotions. These unseen adversaries often undermine our well-being, casting long shadows on our mental landscape. It's crucial to manage this inner dialogue to cultivate a healthier, more positive mental state. In this journey, we'll delve into philosophical tools and techniques that can help us navigate this terrain. Think of it as a compass for the mind, pointing towards a more positive outlook. The journey to a more positive mindset begins with understanding the root causes of negative thoughts. Negative thoughts often stem from cognitive distortions, our brain's misguided attempts to make sense of the world. Cognitive distortions are irrational, inflated thoughts or beliefs that distort a person's perception of reality, usually in a negative way. They're often the brain's attempt to simplify complex thoughts and experiences, but unfortunately they can lead to a vicious cycle of negativity. One common cognitive distortion is catastrophizing, a tendency to assume the worst-case scenario will always occur. For instance, if you stumble over your words during a presentation, you might catastrophize by thinking, "I'm a terrible speaker and everyone must think I'm incompetent." Catastrophizing can create a self-fulfilling prophecy, where your fear of the worst-case scenario actually brings it about. Another cognitive distortion is all-or-nothing thinking, also known as black and white thinking. This is when you view a situation in only two categories instead of on a continuum. For example, if you didn't finish a task perfectly, you might think, "I'm a failure." This kind of thinking can lead to feelings of worthlessness and despair, further fueling the cycle of negativity. Lastly, jumping to conclusions is a cognitive distortion where you interpret an event negatively without any evidence to support your conclusion. For example, if a friend doesn't return your call, you might immediately think, "They must be angry with me," even though there could be many reasons why they didn't call back. These cognitive distortions can create a cycle of negative thoughts and emotions. They can distort our perception of reality, fuel our fears and insecurities, and ultimately limit our potential. But the good news is, once we recognize these distortions, we can work on changing them. Recognizing these distortions is the first step to challenging and overcoming negative thoughts. By understanding the root causes of our negative thoughts, we can begin to break free from the cycle of negativity and move towards a more positive and fulfilling existence. Mindfulness, the practice of being fully present and engaged in the current moment, is a powerful tool for identifying negative thoughts. Our minds are like a river, constantly flowing with thoughts and ideas. Sometimes these thoughts can be negative, casting a shadow over our day. But there's a silver lining to this. Just as we can recognize these negative thoughts, we can also challenge them and shift our perspective towards positivity. Let's delve into the concept of cognitive reframing. Imagine a painter who starts with a vague sketch. As they add layers of color and texture, the image transforms into a detailed, vibrant piece of art. Similarly, cognitive reframing involves questioning the validity of our initial negative thoughts and adding new layers of understanding to them, ultimately leading to a more positive outlook. So, how do we do this? Let's break it down into 3 steps. Firstly, we need to identify the negative thought. This could be something like, "I always mess things up." The key here is awareness. We need to catch these thoughts as they occur, like a vigilant goalkeeper stopping a ball from entering the goal. Next, let's question the validity of this thought. Is it really true that you always mess things up? Or are there instances where you've done things well? Often, our negative thoughts are not entirely accurate and may stem from cognitive distortions, such as catastrophizing or all-or-nothing thinking. Finally, let's reframe this thought in a more positive light. Instead of, "I always mess things up," we could say, "I sometimes make mistakes, but I also have many successes." This new thought is not only more positive, but also more realistic, providing a balanced perspective. But cognitive reframing isn't just about changing negative thoughts to positive ones. It's about replacing them with positive affirmations. Positive affirmations are like seeds of positivity that we plant in our minds. With regular watering and care, these seeds can grow into strong, resilient trees that can withstand the storms of negativity. Here are some examples of positive affirmations. I am capable and strong. I can handle whatever comes my way. I am worthy of love and respect. These affirmations are not just empty words, they are powerful declarations of self-belief and resilience. So, the next time a negative thought creeps into your mind, remember this. You have the power to challenge it. You have the power to transform it. And most importantly, you have the power to replace it with a positive affirmation. Remember, this is a skill, and like any skill, it takes practice. But with time and persistence, you can become a master at reframing your negative thoughts and cultivating a more positive and balanced mental state. With practice, you can learn to replace negative thoughts with positive ones, creating a more balanced mental state. Philosophical practices from Stoicism and Buddhism offer valuable strategies for dealing with negative thoughts and emotions. Let's start with a gem from the Stoic philosophy called Amor Fati. This Latin phrase translates to love of fate, a concept that encourages acceptance of life's circumstances, whatever they may be. Rather than resisting what life throws at us, we can embrace it, finding meaning and potential growth in adversity. You see, Stoics believe that we don't control what happens to us, but we do control how we respond. So, when faced with a challenging situation, instead of dwelling on the negativity, we can choose to accept it and find a way to grow from it. Now, let's turn our attention to the East, to the Buddhist practice of mindfulness meditation. This practice involves focusing on the present moment, not the regrets of the past or the worries of the future, but the here and now. It teaches us to be aware of our thoughts and emotions, to observe them without judgment, so when a negative thought arises, instead of getting caught up in it, we can simply acknowledge it and let it go. Incorporating these philosophical practices into our daily lives might seem challenging, but it's entirely doable. Start small. For instance, when you notice a negative thought, remind yourself of Amor Fati and see if you can find a way to accept and learn from the situation. Or take a few minutes each day to practice mindfulness meditation. Sit quietly, focus on your breath, and observe your thoughts as they come and go. Over time, these practices can become a natural part of our mental toolkit. They can help us navigate the ups and downs of life with more equanimity, turning our inner dialogue from a critic to a coach. And as we get better at managing our thoughts and emotions, we might find ourselves not just surviving, but truly thriving. These philosophical practices can help us accept life's circumstances and let go of negative thoughts, leading to a more peaceful and fulfilled existence. Emotional regulation is a crucial skill for managing negative emotions and fostering mental health. It's about navigating our emotions in a healthy way, without suppressing them or letting them overwhelm us. Take a moment to imagine your emotions as waves in the ocean. Just as a surfer rides the waves, you too can learn to ride your emotional waves, letting them rise and fall naturally. This is the essence of emotional regulation. One of the simplest yet most effective techniques for emotional regulation is deep breathing. When negative emotions stir within us, our breathing often becomes shallow and rapid. By consciously slowing and deepening our breath, we can counteract this physiological response and calm our minds. So the next time you're feeling anxious or upset, try taking a few deep, slow breaths. Inhale deeply through your nose, hold for a moment, and then exhale slowly through your mouth. As you do this, visualize the stress and negativity flowing out of your body with each exhale. Progressive muscle relaxation is another powerful technique. This involves systematically tensing and then relaxing each muscle group in your body, starting from your toes and working your way up to your head. As you do this, you'll likely find that your mind becomes quieter and more peaceful. Journaling can also be a valuable tool for managing negative emotions. By writing down your thoughts and feelings, you can gain a deeper understanding of your emotional patterns and triggers. This can help you develop more effective strategies for coping with negativity in the future. And remember, it's okay to ask for help. If you're struggling to manage your negative emotions on your own, don't hesitate to seek professional help. Therapists, counselors, and other mental health professionals are trained to help you navigate these challenges and develop healthier coping strategies. With these strategies, you can effectively cope with negative emotions and cultivate a more positive mental state. Overcoming negative thoughts and emotions is a journey, not a destination. We've explored the root causes of negativity, learned to identify and challenge these thoughts, and discovered philosophical mindfulness practices. We've also examined strategies for coping with negative emotions. Remember, the power to overcome negativity lies within you, and with the help of these tools and techniques, you can manage your inner dialogue more effectively. By incorporating these philosophical tools and techniques into your daily life, you can cultivate a more positive and fulfilling existence.